Thank you. Chris, let me just say I felt your words were perspicacious and brilliant and true. Here we are, a small group of people. You know, get the word out, get the word out. But with the immensity of the media just drowning us, how do you get that word out? How do you demonstrate to more Americans of what that triumvirate is doing in the White House?
The problem in wartime is that it always begins with the destruction of culture, of our own culture. And the most effective way the state has to accomplish that is by taking away our language. And it gives us the words and the cliches by which we speak about the experience we're undergoing, so that it becomes very hard to think outside the box. And I don't own a television because I don't want those phrases pounded into my brain on 24-hour news cycles. The war on terror, countdown with Saddam, showdown with Iraq. Once you rob language, once they give us the words by which we have to speak about what we're undergoing, it becomes almost impossible to express the disquiet that we feel, and I think that many of us feel. We saw this in Bosnia, and in a place like Mostar, where you had young men who had grown up together, who had gone to school together, attended each other's weddings, slept in each other's houses, sitting in trenches often a few yards apart where at night they could still speak to each other, killing each other. Yet they didn't have the words by which they could express what it was they're doing. When you asked them why they were fighting, they spat back at you those kind of cliches that were pounded into them day after day after day after day. And I'm not picking on the Bosnians because now we're the same. And what it does is turn the other into an object. It denigrates the other. It turns the other into a caricature. And when we go to war, of course, the other side is doing the same. So that until you can recreate an authentic language, and that has a lot to do with allowing authentic culture, which is always about self-examination and self-critical, to again become ascendant or at least have its proper place in a society, you are rendered mute. I think we've all become, in wartime, like Othello, who's so consumed by jealousy that at one of the final moments before he turns to kill Desdemona, he says, "Goats and monkeys, goats and monkeys." The most poetic man in Venice, a man who wooed not only his love but the state with words. And that's why in Bosnia or in Cyprus you do not have peace. You have the absence of war. In Bosnia, or with the Turks and Greeks in Cyprus, students learn different histories, both of which are a lie. And this of course, touches upon the brilliance of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in South Africa, where, although the torturers and the killers of the apartheid regime were given an amnesty, to do so they had to confess their crimes. And what they were doing is returning to South Africans' language, a narrative, a common narrative by which you can build and maintain peace. And it's always the same disease. I woke up a few weeks after 9/11 and I looked around New York with people driving down the street waving big obnoxious flags, and I thought, we've all become the Serbs. And that's what's so terrifying about war. It doesn't matter whether I'm in Argentina or Israel or Bosnia or El Salvador. It's the same disease, and we have it.